Hey gang, Scott Davenport here. Welcome to In the Field. Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm taking you to the beaches of San Diego, my hometown, and it's appropriate that I share something from San Diego this week. At the end of the week, I'm hosting a workshop. A few other photographers will join me and we'll have some fun along the coast. And so this beach, I was scouting it maybe a week or so ago, making sure things are all looking good. It's one of the spots I fully intend to go with the group. And without further ado, let me share some of these great rocks, oceans, and coastline of San Diego.
I have high hopes for this afternoon. There's a nice veil of clouds that are really just hanging over the western sky off to the east, outside there. There's a few wisps, but there is a very nuanced, intricate veil of stuff over the east, and that's going to catch some nice light. It's going to diffuse the sun. I'm hoping for just beautiful oranges and yellows, and if I play my cards right, I'll find a stretch on the coast where I can get some of that color reflecting in the water, and I'm looking forward to this. As I sit here in the westbound traffic heading toward the ocean, the marine layer is out there. I can certainly see it, but I can also see just a bit of some of the islands that are, pretty far out off of the coast here. And that's a good sign, because that means that, there's some stuff out there, some atmosphere, but it's not incredibly thick to the point where it will completely swallow the sun. Traffic is killing me here. I'm going to be a little pressed for time. All right, good, moving again. I'm going to get down there, find a good spot, get set up. It's a pretty lazy surf, and the tide's rolling out a little bit, very calm. I need to find myself a set of rocks, nestle up in them, and just work on the compositions. Those are a little bit more to the south around the bend here. I'm gonna head out over there, take a look. All right, so I've settled on these longer fingers of rock. The way that the sun is angled on these, really highlighting the greens of the moss, that's the shot. So gonna get dialed in, play around with the filters, and just wait for the sun to get a little bit lower for some of that harshness to get out of the sky. Well, I get the camera at about belt level, so I'm getting everything from this foreground rock all the way into the background, and waiting for a good set of waves. There's actually some coming in right now. A challenge will be chasing the tides. I need to get some of this filled in with some water and the surges of waves, because these are some pretty good breaks here. The squeeze point, there we go. Fire one off, grab another one. I'm shooting at about around 1/3 of a second. I'm down at F11 right now. I don't need an extreme depth, because that's a pretty healthy amount of atmosphere out there. If you notice on the waves too, a challenge with the surf, the wind is at my back. And so the wind plus the tide going out is already fighting against me, and I will be slowly creeping forward to chase these bits of water. May need to change up composition as the sunset approaches. And so I've adjusted composition ever so slightly to bias a little bit more of the foreground, actually downplaying the sky. Not that it's not going to be colorful, but it's really these rocks and the surge of water that's coming up in between this channel that's going to make the photo nice. And the colors that are just coming off of the mosses and the rocks are great right now. So fine-tuned it, tweaked it, shifted a little bit to the right to make sure I'm including that one round part of the foreground rock. Now just gonna wait for those waves. Starting to lose the light on the rocks already, and the surf is moving out fast. I've got a couple of photos of this spot that the water came up through that channel pretty well. I'm gonna give it another minute or two, and then I may go to the opposite side. Maybe you see those folks standing up on the ledge there. There's a little tiny patch of beach right behind the folks in the foreground and others in the background, kind of like right in between those folks. So this vantage is pretty cool. Nice long fingers of rocks. They're really getting exaggerated by the wide angle lens. Sun's got maybe about 10 minutes or so before I lose light entirely. Getting some good reflections off of the greens in that rock back there, down on the sheen of the sand. So get busy, get a few shots. Not a bad way to end the day.
During this shoot, I kept moving. I had to keep changing locations. Some of that was the tides chasing the water and how they were interplaying with the rocks. And some of that was other visitors, other photographers. There were several other photographers there, and one person was doing like a swimsuit shoot, and we were sharing the space, and everything was very cordial, very cool. But because of that, you have to change up angles here and there, and we're all trying to get good light and get the photos that we want. And I think that's the tip of the week. Is chasing the light, chasing the scene, staying nimble. I've talked about this before, and in the field, this is not new to the longtime viewers here, but it's always a good reminder that you can't just plant your tripod legs and not move at all. There's sometimes and some places for that, but when you're working with a dynamic subject like the ocean and the tides are changing, sometimes you got to move around and chase the good shots. And that's going to do it for this week's In the Field. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, let me know somehow. Comments on the video below are great. Questions about photography, you know how to reach me. Comments through the website if you want to keep it private. And until next time, my name is Scott Davenport, and happy shooting.